There is only one thing missing in this world, and it's connection to the divine. And if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling stuck, if you are sabotaging, if you're procrastinating, if you're not living the reality you want to live, it's as simple as no strategy. It's your disconnection from your intuition. Okay. And in this video, I just want to talk a bit deeper on this, because this has been the one thing that I noticed, not just within myself and my success and my results in the 3D reality, but in most people that I see in the world that I study successful people all the time. I study my clients, people that I work with, all the souls that I do readings for. When they have this sudden flip where they manifest the things that they love, when they suddenly reach some level of success in the 3D, it's because they've surrendered to something higher than themselves, right? I see this time and time again in my business, in my life, from manifesting my soulmate, homes, cars, whatever the thing that I'm trying to manifest, I never try. And that's the reason why the manifestation then comes through, right? When I surrender to the higher within myself, to the highest, whatever you want to call this energy, right? In science, and I've done so many whiteboard videos. I'm basically going to do whiteboard videos again, guys. Those of you who are wondering, is she going to do whiteboard videos again? Yes, I am. I love doing those videos. So much more channeled messages pour out through me, and I love the acronyms I do. What I'm waiting for is the piece, because I used to film on this little camera, and now I've got this new phone and it's just so much more easier. So this setup is very different to my new setup, and I'm waiting for a piece that I need, and then I can set up the lighting and all that stuff. So talking head videos for now, and then I'm going to bring my whiteboard back, because I feel like I get a lot deeper concepts through when I write and share. And so I'm going to redo this video as well at some point, just teaching you about your frequency, and your frequency being the most important piece of your life on earth here. And the majority of us people, we focus so much on the 3D reality because that's what we can see, hear, feel, taste, touch, smell, that we forget the inner senses. And the inner senses is one of the most highest forms of connection, vibration to the divine, right? It's literally the creator within us. We are the creators of our reality, and we say it all the time, but how many of us are actually practicing it? And I noticed this with myself. It's almost like I'm telling you off, but I'm telling myself off through this video because I have recently started to really connect to my roots, right? Because every time I manifest, it's when I'm connected to the divine where I don't even care. Like, it's not like I don't care. I'm calling in the desire of the thing, but there's such certainty. There's such knowingness that that thing is coming in because I'm so convicted. I just know this is my utmost, topmost truth. And when I come from that energy, same with these videos, like every time I video, I don't script or anything like that because I trust the divine to channel through me. I'm a vessel for channeling. And so my greatest higher self comes through like this. So if I don't plan my videos, I literally am just like, this is the topic I want to speak about today. I want to remind people of their connection to their intuition, their power, their universe, and the source God within them. It just flows through me. Again, same thing with business. When I'm connecting you back to your unique gifts, your unique skills, all the stuff that your soul came here with, like a blueprint, connecting you back to that divinity within you, that's where my soul shines and lights up, and I'm connected to my higher self that way too, right? So, if you are lost, if you are stuck, you are heavily, and I can guarantee this, if you are any of those things, you are out of alignment, number one. You are out of alignment because you are not in your soul self. You're not in your higher self. You're not operating from your higher self, which means you're not thinking from your higher self. Your dominant force and vibration is not from the higher self, because with the higher self, you trust and you surrender at certain points in your journey, and you only create from a space of joy and abundance and peace and kindness and lovingness. There is no hustle. There is no chasing. There's no proving. There's no trying. I hate the word try. Try, whenever somebody says to me, I'll try my best, it's like, okay, well, you don't really want to do it then. When you are 110%, I know with full conviction this is for me, that's because you're coming from your soul essence. Because that soul essence, that's your divinity within. There's no doubt there. There is no place for doubt in that frequency. So where are you not trusting yourself right now? Because there is some part of you that does not trust your higher self. And if you can surrender that, you can surrender the stress and the lack and the, okay, Janie, but how do I survive in this world? Surrender that. And then once the download drops through, because your ego will hold on to all the fears around the 3D reality. Okay, so the stress, the overwhelm, the burnout, hustling, all of that exists in the 3D frequency that you are surviving in. It's literally the survival energy. When you want to move beyond that, you have to be in your creativity. And to get into your creative space, you have to surrender and trust in something bigger than yourself, which means trusting in the unknown. Now, this is mostly uncomfortable and scary for a lot of people. Some of you watching this might be like me, where you're actually quite comfortable with it. And sometimes the unknown can be a very quiet place. Before I manifested my soulmate, before I manifested this home, before I manifested my dream car that I needed for like a year, brand spanking new from the factory, all the stuff, right? There was a bit, and even the most recent, before I manifested like this event where I'm getting paid for in person, it came after a really quiet period. And in that quietness, that's where my divinity, I connect to it. That's where I connect to the higher power within, what it's trying to tell me. So I've got an itchy eye over here. I think something fell in it. And that quietness is the unknown, where you don't know what's next. You don't know what's next, but you trust what's coming. When you are able to get into that space where in your 3D reality, because things are moving around all the time. So if you set the intention, like when I set the intention, I want my soulmate, things in my 3D reality were really crumbly. I was going through court cases with my ex-narcissist. He was taking me to court with my 1-year-old baby. I was sleeping on the floor in my parents' bedroom. It was really a chaotic moment. It was a horrific moment for me, right? I had police at my door all the time, all this stuff. And literally within 2 days, I manifested my soulmate. So the 3D, though, looked very crumbly. And I was just like, how on earth? Like, nobody fucking manifests their soulmate from that shitty energy, right? Wrong. I manifested it. How? I was connected and surrendered to something higher than myself. I knew my desires. So desires are not wrong. The desires that come from your soul are not wrong. But you also have desires from ego that are rooted in proving, validating, seeking, chasing, hustling, trying. Those are all ego-based desires. Those are the ones that don't make you feel good, okay? Somewhere along your journey, you can reach success with all of those ego-based desires. It takes longer, more hard work, and when you get there, something might feel like it's missing. The successful businesses and entrepreneurs and millionaires who build their businesses and create lives from joy and peace and surrender and trust and divinity, they reach those points and they feel the same along the whole journey. Why? Because they're connected to something greater than themselves and they are in alignment. They're creating from alignment. That looks like joy, creating from intuition, creating from peace and love and joy. It's just pure joy, isn't it, really? Like whenever I've created any of my offers from a space of, this will be so much fun, like it's just what I'm meant to do, my intuition's guiding me, it's fun, and also it sells out without me even having to try. I've noticed that too in my experience of lived embodied sales through all my intuitive offers. It's come from this pure sense of, I just want to create this, it's so fun, to people buying. It's that simple. It gets to be really, really simple. So again, this video is literally for you to assess, like, where are you not connected to your divinity? Get into that discomfort of the peace, because it can look chaotic, right? Like I gave the example of my soulmate. Again, before I manifested this house, I had this massive fight with my mother. At the time, like I said, we were living with her, with my child, and her moods were so volatile, up and down, and she was just like, right, out. And it was just like, no security. All my security felt like it was crumbling. But just before that happened, I had set the intention of, I really just want my own home. So sometimes we ask the universe from that creator energy within us, right? It's guiding us to where we want to go. But as we do that with the 50 and we're asking for our desires, we're commanding the universe to give us what we want, the 3D has to move and has to shuffle as your frequency moves to where you belong. That can be a scary thing, right? Because especially those of you who hold on to security and what you know as comfort, it's like the blanket being snatched, or the dummy when the baby has a dummy in the mouth and you take it away and they're just like, no, I want it. And you're just like, you're ready to elevate to the next stage, darling. You don't need the little dummy. But we're just like, no, I want this and I want my blankie and I want this. And it's like, that can't go with you to the next age, the next level, whatever the thing. So whatever your desires are, sometimes the 3D, when it starts to shuffle, can be a scary thing because you don't know what's happening. But if you trust and you have this knowing and this faith that the universe is putting you where you are meant to be, and you know that's going to be a better place, that's what's going to manifest. I've also seen the opposite, where if you are so deeply wired and programmed that, oh, now everything's going to be taken away from me and it's going to be for the worse, then yeah, the universe can also present that to you, because you operate on that frequency. You're the one calling in that through your thoughts, through your awareness, right? Because essentially all our souls is consciousness, is living thought. It's living awareness. And our living awareness creates the reality around us in our 3D, in the physical form, in matter. I'm going to break down this whole video so it makes more sense. But right now, I just want you to understand you are either creating from a space of lack and hustle and grind and stress and proving energy and chasing energy, which is the 3D, the ego, or you're creating from a space of abundance, joy, peace, alignment, intuition, and that's your higher self, the 5th dimension. So assess yourself. If you are in this space of the 3D, you want to be moving yourself to the 5D and creating from that space and that space only, and looking after your energy, your frequency, and trusting when the unknown hits. Look at this. Oh my God, look at my piece of curl. I'm on this curly hair journey. This is like, anyway, getting distracted now. Assess. Align yourself to the 5th dimension. Do whatever it takes for you to connect back to your source energy, as scary as it is. And then notice, just observe, become the observer. Notice what emotions are coming up. When you move to the 5th dimension and you notice the quietness and you're like, oh, I actually have nothing to do. You've been filling your diary with busyness. Oh, I actually have nothing to create because I don't feel like it. Okay, good. What can you do with your energy right now? Then can you do a meditation? Can you connect to the divine? Can you ask the creator within yourself what she or he wants to create now from joy, from the right energy? And then wait a few days or a week or a month or however long it takes for that download to come through. That's okay. That's you trusting and surrendering. Be mindful though that the procrastinator within you doesn't come up and just tell you, oh no, it's not time to create yet. It's not time to create yet, because that is the ego mind again. And there's very sneaky, subtle ways of the way that the 3D ego mind will sneak up on you and actually block you. So there are very core differences. When I do one-to-one work, this is what I'm seeing very clearly, and I'm able to pinpoint you, going, now you're in your ego, now you're in your intuition. So again, if you struggle with that and you're still like, I'm overthinking, then you're not in your intuition. Intuition doesn't overthink, number one, ever. Intuition doesn't overthink. When you are overthinking and when you're procrastinating, you will know it. You're not in your soul essence, because the soul literally wants to create with joy. It doesn't overthink anything. It just goes and creates, and it's happy there. It's peaceful. So again, if you're procrastinating, if you're sabotaging, you're overthinking, you are in your ego mind. And again, you're keeping yourself in that same loop, that same cycle of block and lack and block and lack and stuck and block and lack, right? In order to do that, you have to be the one to cut and intercept and go, no, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to create just for the pure joy of it. Whatever comes, you're not chasing anything. You're simply creating because the God within, he created because he felt like it, or the universe or the soul, whatever you believe in, light, energy, consciousness, whatever that label, doesn't matter. That's irrelevant, right? If you want to better your life, you just need to know how the energy fucking works and then step into the right energy and then start creating. So I hope this makes sense. Comment if it did, if it helped you in any way, and any of your blocks if you are still stuck in them, and I'll be happy to pinpoint you. Subscribe if you're new here. Mwah.